The afternoon sun cast long shadows across Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills as Terry Crews stepped out of his modest rental car. He had deliberately chosen the compact vehicle instead of his usual luxury ride. Today wasn't about making an impression. Dressed in comfortable jeans, a simple gray t-shirt, and his favorite worn sneakers, he looked like any regular guy taking a stroll through one of America's most exclusive shopping districts. Terry had just finished a grueling 6-month film shoot and wanted to treat himself to something special, perhaps a nice watch or a piece of jewelry for his wife. The stress of the demanding role had taken its toll, and this small act of self-care felt necessary. As he walked past the gleaming storefronts, he noticed how the late afternoon light reflected off the pristine windows, creating an almost ethereal glow around the luxury boutiques. His weathered sneakers squeaked slightly against the polished sidewalk as he approached Prestige Timepieces, an upscale watch boutique with an intimidating facade of black marble and gold accents. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, he could see displays of gleaming watches under spotlights, each piece likely worth more than most people's annual salary. Taking a deep breath, Terry pushed open the heavy glass door. A soft chime announced his arrival, and the cool air conditioning immediately enveloped him, carrying the subtle scent of expensive leather and polish. The interior was even more impressive than the storefront. Mahogany cases lined the walls, housing hundreds of luxury timepieces, while soft classical music played in the background. Behind the main counter stood Marcus Wellington, a man in his early 30s with perfectly styled hair and a suit that probably cost more than Terry's entire outfit. Marcus had been working at Prestige Timepieces for 3 years, having climbed his way up from a small jewelry store in downtown LA. His success had inflated his ego, and he had developed an unfortunate habit of judging customers by their appearance, rather than their character or purchasing power. As Terry approached the counter, Marcus looked up from the inventory sheet he was reviewing. His eyes immediately traveled from Terry's casual t-shirt down to his well-worn sneakers, and a slight smirk played at the corners of his mouth. The sneakers, while comfortable and practical, showed clear signs of extensive use: scuffed toes, faded fabric, and soles worn smooth from countless workouts and long days on set. "Good afternoon," Terry said warmly, his deep voice carrying the genuine friendliness that had endeared him to millions of fans worldwide. "I'm looking for something special. Perhaps a watch for myself, or a nice piece of jewelry for my wife." Marcus's smirk widened as he took in Terry's appearance once more. In his mind, he was already calculating that this casually dressed man couldn't possibly afford anything in their premium collection. The disconnect between Terry's humble appearance and the store's exclusive atmosphere seemed to amuse him greatly. Marcus leaned back against the counter, his posture radiating condescension as he addressed Terry with barely concealed amusement. "Sir, I appreciate you stopping by, but I think you might be more comfortable at one of the department stores down the street. Our pieces here start at around $15,000. Terry's eyebrows raised slightly, but he maintained his calm demeanor. Years in Hollywood had taught him patience when dealing with difficult people. "I understand the price range. I'm genuinely interested in seeing what you have available." But Marcus was just getting started. His eyes drifted down to Terry's feet, again, and he let out a small chuckle. "Those shoes of yours have certainly seen better days, haven't they? I mean, if you're going to shop somewhere like this, you might want to consider investing in some proper footwear first." The comment hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Terry felt his jaw tighten slightly, but he forced himself to remain composed. He had faced discrimination before. Unfortunately, it wasn't uncommon in upscale establishments, regardless of his success and fame. What stung wasn't just the rudeness, but the assumptions being made about his worth as a human being based on his choice of comfortable shoes. "These shoes have been with me through a lot," Terry replied evenly, his voice carrying a subtle edge that Marcus completely missed. "Sometimes comfort matters more than appearance." Marcus laughed outright now, his voice carrying across the quiet store. "Comfort? Sir, in a place like this, appearance is everything. Our clientele expects a certain standard. We cater to celebrities, business executives, people who understand quality and luxury. I'm not sure you'd fit in with that crowd." The insult hit its mark, but Terry's response surprised Marcus. Instead of getting angry or leaving, Terry smiled. A genuine, almost knowing smile that seemed to contain a secret Marcus couldn't decipher. "You know," Terry said, his voice taking on a storytelling quality, "these shoes have walked red carpets, stood on movie sets, and carried me through some of the most important moments of my life. They might not look like much to you, but they represent something more valuable than any of these watches. Authenticity." Marcus rolled his eyes dramatically. "Look, I'm sure you have a very touching story about those shoes, but the reality is that our customers expect to be surrounded by people who appreciate and can afford luxury. Maybe try the mall down the street? They have some nice department stores that might be more suitable for your budget." The word suitable dripped with disdain, and Marcus seemed to be enjoying himself immensely. He had no idea that he was about to experience one of the most embarrassing moments of his professional career. Other customers in the store had begun to notice the exchange. An elderly woman examining a diamond bracelet glanced over with a frown, clearly disapproving of Marcus's treatment of Terry. A young couple near the watch display exchanged uncomfortable looks, sensing the tension building in the air. Terry took a deep breath, his smile never faltering. The moment of truth was approaching, and Marcus Wellington was about to learn a lesson he would never forget. Terry reached into his back pocket with deliberate slowness, his movements calm and measured despite the tension in the air. Marcus watched with growing smugness, probably expecting to see a worn wallet with a few crumpled bills, further confirmation of his assumptions about this casually dressed customer. Instead, Terry pulled out his phone and with a gentle smile showed Marcus the screen. It displayed his Instagram account. A Terry Crews, verified with a blue checkmark, 5.2 million followers, and countless photos from movie premieres, TV shows, and red carpet events. The color drained from Marcus's face as if someone had pulled a plug. His eyes widened in horror as the reality of the situation crashed down on him like a tidal wave. This wasn't just any customer. This was Terry Crews, the beloved actor, former NFL player, and one of Hollywood's most respected figures. The man he had just humiliated based on his choice of footwear was worth millions and had more influence than Marcus could have ever imagined. "Oh my God," Marcus whispered, his voice barely audible. His hands began to shake as he stared at the phone screen, then back at Terry's face, recognition finally dawning. You're Terry Crews, the actor, from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Expendables." "That's right," Terry said gently, his voice carrying no malice despite the treatment he had just received. "And these shoes? They've been with me to movie premieres, award shows, and countless other events. They're comfortable, and they remind me to stay grounded no matter where life takes me." The store had gone completely silent. The elderly woman with the diamond bracelet had stopped pretending to shop and was watching the scene unfold with fascination. The young couple had pulled out their phones, recognizing the celebrity and sensing that something significant was happening. Even the soft classical music seemed to fade into the background. Marcus felt his world crumbling around him. Working at prestige timepieces, he had served numerous celebrities and wealthy clients, and he knew exactly how much influence someone like Terry Crews wielded. One negative review, one social media post, one word to the wrong person, and his career could be over in an instant. "Mr. Crews, I am so incredibly sorry," Marcus stammered, his professional composure completely shattered. "I had no idea who you were. I mean, that's no excuse, but—" "You're right," Terry interrupted calmly. "It's no excuse, because it shouldn't matter who I am. Every person who walks through that door deserves to be treated with basic respect and dignity, regardless of how they're dressed or what assumptions you might make about their financial situation." The lesson was sinking in, and Marcus felt smaller with each word. He had built his entire sales approach around judging people by their appearance, and it had just backfired spectacularly. Worse than that, he realized how fundamentally wrong his approach had been from a human decency standpoint. "You judged me based on my shoes," Terry continued, his voice remaining patient but firm. "But you never asked about my story, my needs, or what I was looking for. You assumed I couldn't afford to shop here and treated me accordingly. How many other customers have you dismissed because they didn't meet your visual standards?" Marcus wanted to disappear into the floor. He could feel the eyes of the other customers on him, and he knew that some of them were recording the interaction. In the age of social media, this humiliation could go viral within hours, destroying his reputation and career in the process. Terry looked around the store, seeing the fear in Marcus's face, but what happened next surprised everyone. "Marcus," Terry said calmly, "I'm not going to make a scene on social media, and I'm not going to try to get you fired." Relief washed over Marcus's face, but Terry continued. "However, I want you to understand something important. Success comes from treating people with respect and dignity. When you judge someone by their appearance, you're diminishing your own character." Marcus nodded, hanging on every word as other customers moved closer. "These shoes represent my journey," Terry said, looking down at his sneakers. "They've carried me from the football field to Hollywood sets. They remind me to stay grounded. When you mocked them, you mocked everyone working hard to achieve their dreams." "Mr. Cruz," Marcus said, his voice heavy with remorse, "you're absolutely right. I've developed terrible habits, judging people instead of serving them. That's not who I want to be." Terry smiled, recognizing the sincerity. "What are you going to do differently moving forward?" "I'm going to treat every person with the same respect I'd want for my family," Marcus replied. "No more assumptions based on appearance." "Good," Terry said. "And you know what? I actually am interested in a watch for my wife's birthday. Help me as you would any customer, with professionalism and respect." The transformation was immediate. Marcus became attentive and helpful, guiding Terry through their collection. He asked thoughtful questions about preferences and style, showing genuine care. Terry selected a beautiful vintage watch with diamonds, costing more than Marcus, made in months. As he processed the payment, Terry offered final advice. "Remember this feeling. Let it guide how you treat people in the future." As Terry prepared to leave, Marcus called out, "Thank you for teaching me something I should have learned long ago." Terry smiled warmly. "We're all learning, Marcus. Every day is a chance to be better." From that day forward, Marcus became known as one of the most respectful salespeople on Rodeo Drive, having learned that true luxury isn't about what you wear, it's about how you treat others. If you enjoyed this story of respect, humility, and personal growth, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. Share this video with friends and family who might appreciate this important message about treating others with dignity. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest content, and let us know in the comments what lessons you took away from Terry's encounter with the luxury salesman. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content that entertains and inspires.